Hello, Access Intuition, developing your inner voice. My name is Michael from Energiebewegung, Energy in Motion. And with me today is Bodo, founder of Welcome to the Golden Age and creator of Welcome to the Bodoverse podcast. He is a working intuitive guide, healer, coach, and offering workshops, one-on-one sessions, and he's helping people find their purpose in life, connecting with their intuition to manifest in their lives what they truly desire. So today we'll be talking about what intuition is, how you can develop your intuition, and the benefits of using intuition in your daily life, how living your life through intuition guidance can make your path much simpler and allow you to be safe in an uncertain and unsteady times. Well, Bodo, please, let's start with some examples. Can you share an interesting example of the benefits an intuitional life has from your experience?
Yes, hello, Michael. Thank you for having me here with you today. Practical examples for intuition. Like for me, I've been living my life now more than 3 years, almost exclusively by intuition. Before I already actually did this in a lot of cases, but then 3 years ago, I did this commitment to myself that I will only take especially my major life choices, but also most of my daily life choices by intuition. So by now I have a big range of examples where to apply intuition. Basically, we can apply intuition to everything, to all the decisions we're taking. So for me, for example, in my daily life, I use it when I'm cooking, or when I'm deciding for my food. I tune into intuitively what is the best for me right now, for my body right now. And also when I go to the city, I intuitively tune in. Do I go right? Do I go left? I trust my inner voice where it's guiding me to actually explore new places, which I wouldn't normally explore because I wouldn't go that direction.
Mm-hmm.
And then also beyond that, I'm taking I'm taking actually all of my life choices by intuition. So now I'm, for example, in Mallorca, and before I was in Italy. And when I was in Italy, my inner voice was strongly telling me, go to Mallorca. And that's what I followed through. And the same was with Italy. I was in Austria before, and in Austria, my intuition told me, go and move to Italy. So usually when I do these geographical location changes, I never really know what it is about. I might have a slight clue, but it's all about trust then. So I have to actually trust that this is really the best choice for me right now, and take that leap of faith, and say, okay, my intuition is telling me to go to Italy or to go to Mallorca, so I'm just gonna follow through. But I also have to admit that I know from my past experiences now that no matter which decision I took by intuition, my life was always better in the end. Sometimes there is a little challenge along the way, but this is part of the journey, because you might need to release something, you might need to transform something in order to be able to embrace the new experience that is unfolding in front of you. So
Well,
I've been taking quite a lot of these leap of faith.
in following that path, were you able to let go of doubt and fear?
Still, doubt and fear are coming up, but then it's about being aware about exactly that I'm that it's my ego that is in doubt and fear, and to be good with that. because the ego is used to what it's used to. Yeah, every time you step out of what you know, out of what you're used to, you're stepping out of your comfort zone, and the ego is directly settled in that comfort zone. It loves what it knows already. And it's afraid and doubting about the new, about moving into the stretch zone and even beyond the stretch zone. No? So every time we take a leap of faith, the ego is like, why? It has the best arguments why you shouldn't go. It has the best arguments why you shouldn't do it. Yeah. And exactly in that moment where that voice is coming in and telling you that's actually a sign for you that you're on the right track. You should just continue and go over that bridge that is falling apart behind you, because at the end is the treasure is waiting there. It's not in what you already know. So of course, like, because I'm already used to that, following my intuition became also my comfort zone in a way. It's easier for me, but still also now when I took this leap to go to Mallorca, or the same when I went to Italy, was like my mind was going crazy. It was like, why are you doing this? You don't know what's going to happen there, and you're crazy. Stay where you are. All of this chatter was going on, but because I knew from my past experience, which has proven that all the decisions I've been taking by intuition were always to my better, I just knew and I would just do it. It's actually for me right now, it's almost like an addiction. I cannot even do anything else. But when this inner voice pops in, I just need to follow through. It's like it's became a must. It's very normal for me to do now, but it takes the training. So what I usually recommend people is also to have an intuitive journal, to write down when did you take a decision by intuition, what was it about, put a date on it, and then later to check in again what happened and to write that down too. And so you can actually track your progress, because we humans tend to forget. I see this again and again and again, that humans tend to forget, me too. So through taking taking notes about that, you are actually making sure that you see your progress with intuition, and you see the proof. And so the more you will believe that your intuitive power is actually real and is actually working and is actually strong. Sorry, we got a little cat here that's playing around. And
well, that's a good piece of advice for the people watching to start journaling, so that you can track your intuition as it grows and develops.
Exactly. And I'm also curious, Michael, how about you? What are your experiences with intuition so far?
Well, one of my strongest introductions to intuition was traveling with Leonard Orr in India. For those who don't know Leonard Orr, he developed rebirthing breathwork and heavily researched physical immortality, living to 2,000 years in the body we have. I think it was about November 2011. I was with him on a scouting trip to find a place for his disciples to stay for Shivaratri, the next Shivaratri, and we were down in Junagadh in Rajkot, India. It was warm, kind of to the west in central India. And we arrived on a Thursday, and we got a room, but the hotel manager said there's no rooms on the weekend. There's a huge wedding. Leonard decided to take the day, and we looked around town. We found a building with an apartment he might be able to use for his disciples for Shivaratri, but we didn't find a hotel for the weekend. And Leonard definitely led a life guided by his intuition, not the ego mind. We were walking past a commercial real estate office, and Leonard said, "Let's go in there." And I was like, "Leonard, it says commercial real estate. They won't have anything for you to rent for just a few weeks." And he just waved his hand like, "Please, the universe is guiding me. Please stop talking." Once inside the office, we were offered a tea. An interpreter translated our request to the big boss. They did, in fact, not have a short-term apartment for rent. He did, however, like Leonard, and since he was the uncle paying for the big wedding that weekend, he gave Leonard and his entourage, which included me, invitations to a real Indian wedding and rooms at the hotel where the wedding was going to be held. So we did not get what we wanted, but we did get what we needed. I think that from listening to you and your experience with intuition, that's you're not getting what the ego wanted, but you're definitely getting what you need. And yeah, Leonard really led an intuitive, in the flow life. Which brings us to Bodo. What can you share about clear knowing, dreaming, and intuition?
Yeah, so intuition actually is coming through a multitude of channels. Yeah, so it's not only clear knowing, it's not only through dreaming, but all of these, you could call it higher senses, no, clear tasting, clear audience, clairvoyance, and so on. These abilities, they are connected to intuition. So intuition has so many ways how it can connect to us. Also in meditations, we can, different forms of meditations, we can connect to different ways how intuitive insight and knowingness and so on can come to us. You can connect, for example, to your higher self, or you can connect to your future self, or you can connect to plants and trees and stones, and you can connect to so much in order to receive intuitive knowledge, no? So what's usually the case is that people have one very dominant intuitive sense open, so they just might know that they need to do something. It's like really you are there and you just know you need to do this or you shouldn't do this, yeah. Or some people have more like a more the clear audience type, so they are hearing clearly a voice, this famous inner voice, yeah. So they hear the famous inner voice. Some people are really visual, they get an image or something, yeah. So, and all the other, it's more rare that people actually taste stuff or smell, but it's also happening, you know? People sense the smell of something and then it's giving them an association and they know kind of maybe something is going to happen or whatever. And what I lately also discovered for myself is the aspect of dreaming. So I was actually in Italy in a community around Bologna, and my time was up. So I was like one more week to go somewhere. So I didn't know where. So I was tuning into myself, and I mean, I trained this already a long time now. So a voice came in and said, my intuitive voice came in and said, look for something around Florence. Yeah. But I was like, okay, I don't really know somebody around Florence. And that was a moment of struggle also for me, you know. I was like in this, my mind came in, doubt and fear. Yeah, are you crazy living your life like this, you know, always needing to trust that the right thing comes up in the right moment. But that's the thing, if you have this trust, that's where the magic happens, yeah. And so actually I was then writing with a woman that had brought me to the community where I was in at that moment. And she was actually writing me that she found a very nice community around Florence. And was like, oh, wow, that's kind of close to the information I got. So that day when I went to bed at night, I had this super vivid dream where I was going towards a wall. And on the wall, there were posters. And I looked at one poster and there was the name written of the community she was going to. It was written on the poster. And when I woke up, it was clear to me, man, that's the place where I need to go. And in the end, it actually turned out to be, yeah, the place I needed to go, because I had to connect to the people there. It was also a very beautiful place in the Tuscany landscape. It was a beautiful old Italian stone house, beautiful community. which I later on even went again for another 2 months, and very thankful for that. If I wouldn't have been in tune with my intuition, I would have had not that experience. And also with Italy in general, for example, I didn't really know where I was going there, but then throughout the months I was living there, things started to come out while I was there, and I had so many precious moments, so many beautiful encounters, and actually tapped into so much more of me. Yeah, like I started, for example, becoming a chief cook for communities there, which is pretty bizarre because the kitchen in Italy is usually a domain of Italians.
Yeah.
That was one thing that was evolving for me there, for example, or actually really realizing how much I thrive within in the community and how important community life is for me. So this could only discover in this way because I followed through with my intuition. Yeah.
I've got a question. When you're journaling in your intuition journal, you put your dreams in there also, right?
Yeah, if you write down your dreams, actually they become more vivid over time. This is another benefit of it. When you start to remember your dreams and you write them down, yeah, you will have better memories of your dreams also. Yeah,
that's a good tip.
But you will know when a dream is really communicating about giving you an advice about what to do. You will know. Yeah, it's like becomes pretty clear. So to come back also to the question with the different intuitive channels and senses, is like usually often most of the people start out with one sense, yeah, and then when you train it, when you train your clear knowingness, you train your clear feeling or whatever you got, you actually through the time start to develop the other senses too. So I started out with clear feeling, yeah, feeling energies and sensing stuff, and then throughout time my inner voice became louder and louder and louder and louder, and then throughout time my vision started to become clearer and clearer and clearer. So yeah, it starts to expand now even dreams being activated and so on. So yeah.
So what solid techniques could you share that helped develop? Well, let me give an example. In our Mikyo classes, and for those who don't know what Mikyo is, it's the use of mudras and mantras to clear and energize the meridians, nerves, and chakras. Well, in these classes, we also take the opportunity to teach intuition. And one way we do that is by taking 4 tarot cards. Any tarot deck's fine. I'm using the Osho one today, and the 4 kings of the 4 elements. So you find one you like out of the 4 that are very different energies, and you really get into the card. And as you were saying, it's a multi-sensory thing. You kind of project your conscious awareness into the card and start talking with the gestalt or the figure in it, and pull in what it feels like to be in. This one's abundance, the king of rainbows. What's it like to be in abundance? How does the air smell? What can you hear? Blackbirds, what's singing in abundance? Get really in tune with the card. And this is also a direct method of how to cooperate with your intuition. When it's talking to you, very often, as you've seen in your experience, it uses symbols to communicate with us. When you do this kind of exercise, it enhances and strengthens your ability to look at a symbol and immediately know the message your intuition has for you. And the next step in that little exercise is we would then take the 4 cards, put them face down, and scan into the cards looking for the one that you identified with. And these 2 methods were what we were using in the Mikyo classes to find, develop, and strengthen and gain trust, because as you were saying, it's very important to build your confidence in this natural ability that we all have. And when you pull your card out, because you can just feel, you, you scan into it, yeah, that's my card. This is a real confidence builder exercise for people wanting to get that, strengthen that connection and get deeper with it. What other ways would you suggest for people just trying to get their foot in?
Funnily, I actually started out like this with tarot cards. Yeah, the tarot cards were a big entrance point for me into intuition, like sensing with the intuitive hand, which is the left hand. It's the receptive hand, energetically sensing the energy of the cards. No, that started out like this, and then back then I actually had a really strong problem with taking decisions. That was freaking me out. I was even just the supermarket was like a really big challenge for me, especially the bigger it was. So sometimes I was spending hours in these super huge supermarkets. I always told people before I entered, hey guys, I might not come out for the next 3 hours. You need to get me out of there. So I was walking down the street one day, and then I had this epiphany, this moment of enlightenment, where I was like, hey, why don't you take your decisions? Why don't you make it a feeling experience? And that's maybe the most essential tool when we talk about intuition is to move into feeling and not thinking. Every time you think decision, you are out of your intuition. Yeah, like if you use the mind. And again, just to remind you, the mind only knows what it knows. It doesn't know anything else. So you can teach it something new, so it expands its knowledge, but still it's taking the decisions based on what it knows. So that's limited. It's a limited capacity. But when we tap into feeling and we tap to the feeling into our intuition, we actually, the intuition is plugged into the big whole of the universe. Yeah, it's like plugged into this infinite intelligence, which is everything. So it knows everything. And so the intuition can deliver information to us based on infinite information. So it knows already everything, basically. And that's where we draw from when we move into feeling. So I started then to feel into my decisions. So do I go right? I feel into it. Or do I go left and I feel into that? And then I kind of knew which one still I know which one feels better, no? Well, which one does feel lighter? Where do I just feel better when I tune into that potential of a decision, choice A or choice B? And that's what I trained. So I did it with going right, going left, being actually also taking in the supermarket, taking the veggies, for example, or the fruits or the whatever into one hand and the other, and then looking what feels better, feels better to me. And in one moment, I also just started to use my left hand, as I did with the tarot cards, to scan the energies and then I get usually I get a little like electrical shock. It's just very like a little signal, tingling, and then I know, that's good for me, that maybe not so. Now I'm already in a point where I get direct, my inner voice is directly talking to me very often about stuff. And that's also something you should know, is that the intuition is a muscle. So it's not like you start out and then you look, but my intuition is not so strong. Yeah, it's not so strong because you haven't been using it all the time. So it's like when you go to the gym, and you want to build a muscle, it's not like you go once to the gym and then you're like, oh, my muscles are not strong. No, you go there continuously over a longer period of time, and then your muscles start to grow and be strong. And that's what's happening to your intuition too. And the good thing is, from my point of view, if you have reached a specific threshold, if the muscle got strong enough, it's hard to fall back. Like you really need to go off track then in order to fall.
Well, you kind of get it. You develop this habit of treating it almost like a constant companion, a friend that you keep in
Yeah, yeah.
communication with.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing to say, what I realized is actually that also when you want to utilize your intuition, you also need to actually know how to clear yourself from all the foreign energies you're carrying. So nowadays we actually have a flood of information and of energies coming towards us through social media, through constant messaging, through in general through the media. So we are actually getting bombarded constantly with information, but can make it difficult to hear ourselves inside, to feel ourselves inside, to be connected with ourselves, which we need to be in order to hear our intuition, in order to feel our intuition. So it can be really necessary for you to regularly, especially if you're living in a city environment. City environments are very heavy
Noisy.
energetically
Yeah.
and very noisy on all levels. Yeah, not only on the noise level, but
But
on
the inner.
energetic level, noisy also, and the emotional level also. And so you might want to clear yourself regularly. So you might have an energetic practice where you can clear yourself. I also have, if you don't have, I have one video online, a workshop for 2 hours where you learn how to energetically clear yourself on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. Welcome to the Golden Age. Also, you, Michael, have different energy tools like the Mikio. You were just talking about is great for clearing our energy field, and or you just smudge yourself. Maybe have some incense or whatever. The way you when you shower, you can clear yourself through water, for example. Also, that's also possible. So to release all which is not you in order to feel yourself and have that access. That's something important to know also, because it's so easy nowadays to get clogged up in other people's energies and opinions and notions and whatever, and then there's no space for us anymore hearing ourselves.
Yeah, it's like being at a party and with a lot of people talking a lot of different subjects, and to just focus in on one conversation that's important to you requires pulling your attention out of the rest of the room and paying attention to your higher self or whatever you're feeling, that your inner knowing, just paying closer attention to that. Yeah, requires that pulling our attention back to where we can have energy and attention to focus and use it to connect with our intuition.
Yeah. Also, what comes to my mind now, which is a beautiful way of training the intuition, because through intuition we can also actually open up more our telepathic abilities. So looking at it from a also shamanic point of view, where actually everything is alive, everything has a consciousness, from the tree to the stone and so on. You can actually just go to a tree and try to talk to it. That's why when I feel, for example, plugged or clogged, and I don't really get a clear intuitive insight about an issue, what I do, I go to a tree and connect with the tree. I put my hands on it, or I just stand underneath the tree and I say hello to the tree, and then the tree sends me information and actually starts talking to me, and I ask questions and the tree answers me, and that became over the years stronger and stronger and stronger. So now I have a really clear conversation with the tree, and they give me very precise informations usually. So I can ask them about everything, about my business or about my personal passage. So for example, when I received, just to give you a practical example, when I received the information about to go to Mallorca now, I checked in with a tree, and he was telling me, in the next week book your way there. No, even he told me go by ferry. So I had really precise information from the tree, which was in resonance with the information I got before through my inner voice. So that's also every time we engage with this training our supernatural abilities, like like this one, communicating with trees or stones or whatever, we are actually training automatically our intuition also. Yeah, intuition becomes stronger and stronger and stronger, and it's just beautiful. Life really is so much easier. I can say becomes so much easier when you're tapped in with your intuition, because all the decisions are way more efficiently. Before I would waste sometimes days in order to take a decision properly. Now I just tune in and I have the answer, or maybe I have not now, but then I know it's not time yet to have the answer. Then I just tune in sometime later again. And I saved so much lifetime through this process. It's incredible. And things become just more efficiently because I know what to do. And no matter what it's about. Is it about eating? Is it about my business? What to do with my business? I get clear information what to do with my business next. To take that
Now,
video, do that workshop or whatever.
Bodo, have you noticed that this helps cultivate a deeper patience, ability to be patient in the face of uncertainty? Does this help with that?
For sure, because once you tap into that and you cultivate this in your intuitive power, you actually start to have also a feeling for how important it is, the time is. Yeah, like we can if we act too early or if we act too late, we miss opportunities, for example.
Yeah.
And if we're tuned with our intuition tells us clearly when is the specific moment in time to take an action, yeah, or not take an action. Yeah. Whereas when we act out from the ego mind, the ego is usually when it's conditioned in a Western society, it's usually eager to act. It's like,
yeah,
I need to act now because
yeah,
I'm only worth something if I'm in action. You know, this is actually the paradigm of Western society is actually relentless action.
yes,
You're only worth something if you do. But when you start to tune into your intuition, it's more about being. So it's very important to understand this. It's about being first, moving into the state of presence, and then allowing intuition to come through and to deliver you an information. So you are in a receptive mode. This is more like when we talk from an energetic point of view, it's a female energetic quality. Be receptive, be present.
Yeah.
And then you receive the information and then you can take inspired action from there. So it's a very directed action. It's not relentless acting. And then your life becomes way more efficiently because you know it's the right action. This is inspired action, and your life becomes streamlined with one inspired action after another, and it's not anymore trying this out, trying this out, trying this out, trying this out of that works, but you know this works, boom, I do it. And you know, you were talking about these uncertain times, so this is especially intuition becomes more and more important now also on when we look at a global scale. We are living in times that are more challenging in a way, more uncertain, like this kind of security we had before where it was clear, okay, next week's going to look like this, next week's going to look like that, is not there in that way anymore, because in the end, change is actually inevitable. Change is in the nature of the universe, because universe is based on energy, and energy in its natural state is always in movement. It's never static. It's never static. When it's static, something is not flowing. That means also something in your life is not flowing. So you want to get your energy moving. But yeah, these uncertain times, for example, like now with that, I have a very good example. So now with the whole pandemic situation, for example, before the thing started, my intuition was giving me information about you need to go back to Portugal. So I was in Berlin back then. I had to do some arrangements, and it was clear to me go back to Portugal at the end of January. And I knew, okay, I don't know why, but I have to follow through. So I go to Portugal, find actually some place to stay, and then my intuition is telling me you need to find in the next maybe 1 to 2 weeks a new place to stay for 3 months. For 3 months, yeah. So it was pretty precise, and I was like, okay, I don't know why, but I'm just gonna do it. So I found an event space where I could volunteer, like a big event space with 2 hectares in the landscape. So I'm in that space, and 2 weeks later, the message arrives, hey, there is something going on out there. And then there was the decision to close down the place officially. So I was a volunteer in an event space which had no events anymore. And then after 6 weeks, I was like, man, my intuition was telling me before that I needed a place for 3 months. And so I realized, it's going to be another 6 weeks of lockdown. And then in the end, after exactly 3 months in Portugal, the first lockdown stopped. So my intuition was precisely guiding me into a place where I had enough space, 2 hectares. I could actually go out of the door and just walk through the landscape. Whereas when I would have been, for example, in a city, I would have had a much more challenging time. So I had actually a paradisic situation for these 3 months. And this was just an example to show you, if you start to be tuned into intuition, it will tell you, don't take that flight, or now it's time to maybe go to another country and move there, or to listen to that and follow through. Because also now we see that more natural catastrophes are becoming a bit more right now, as there
Common, yeah,
are
they're becoming a lot more common than they were, for example, 10 years ago.
yeah, like the volcano on the Canary Islands, for example, blasting off suddenly. So your intuition would say you need to leave now, because in 1 hour the volcano is gonna explode. But you don't know in that moment, but maybe you know.
You don't know why, but you just get the message to go. Yeah, we're seeing flooding here in Germany. That was very bad. And then also right now, I think there's massive flooding in Australia. America's been hard hit. So benefits for being connected with your intuition and developing it and strengthening it would be, as Leonard Orr showed us, and as you've pointed out so many times in your life, it's just being in the flow life is a benefit. But also it could actually help you survive and stay alive if the area that you're living in is going to be flooded and you have an intuition, an inspiration to go hiking in the mountains, and you're just not there when the clouds come in and everything goes under 3 meters of water. So having a strong intuition could actually help you survive.
Yeah, exactly. Also in all kinds of daily situations. So for example, when you start to train your intuition, you just know you shouldn't put that glass there, or you should put your keys in the pocket, or I've seen it so often playing out in my life, where I then broke something, where I lost something, but I knew before I shouldn't put it there. I knew before I should put it in my pocket. It was just clear, do it now. And now I'm just doing it because on the way I saw so often that there was a right feeling to follow through. And it's really training yourself to follow through, to just do it without questioning that. And then really intuition becomes, I call it a magical superpower. It becomes really a superpower which can help us in every area of your life. Even in your love life, for example, like when you get the insight, you have to go to that party and you're actually looking for a partner right now. It might be because your partner is there. You might be lazy that day, but your pull is there, like your intuition wants to pull you there. So you get up and go there. So there's no limit. There's no limit. You can apply, once you understood how your intuition operates, how it works, you can apply it to every area in your life. And life becomes so much more easier, much more beautiful, much more magical. It's I'm very, very thankful for the journey with intuition I've gone so far. Yeah.
Now, I'd like to ask you, when you develop this habit of, or make this conscious decision, I'm following my intuition and that's just the way it's going to be. Did you find that this helped you ignore the ego mind voice that's always wants to come up with its how's that going to work kind of questioning. Did it help get that away?
Um, no, not really. It's
Still comes up.
still there. It's still talking, but the noise is less. But it's really about having a commitment, making a contract. That's why before I was already following my intuition, but then 3 years ago, more or less, I made this contract with myself. I now following my intuition through all the time. That was my contract. Boom, made it. And since then, I'm just following through. So you have to have a strong commitment to your intuition and to just do it. And then because you have that commitment, you take the decisions accordingly, and then you see the proof all the time. It works, it works, it works, it works, it works, it works always to my benefit in the end. So that's something you need to decide for yourself. Do you want to navigate your life from your limited ego capacities, or do you want to tap into the bigger you, the greater you? Because on that path, intuition also gives you the right impulses in order to grow in the best way into your true self, to connect. That shows you how to connect to your inner core, beyond all your limitations, beyond your deficiencies, and to tap into the magic and the power and the love and the beauty that is within you, day by day by day by day. So if you want to go on that journey, if you want to become more of who you truly are and release all of these old stories and all of these limitations and all of this stuff, your journey will be best guided by your intuition. That's so that's how I do it. I tune in. What do I need right now in order to grow in the best way? Where do I need to go? And so on. And I always know, it's always, the information is always there. It's always there. And there's no doubt. Of course, my mind is in doubt, but in the end, there is no doubt anymore, because I know always how to pull in the right information for me now and what is the right thing to do. So I stopped wasting a lot of time. I think I wasted so much lifetime with trying to figure out, what do I want? Where do I want to go? What do I want to do now?
Now, I have another question for our viewers out there that just want to get into this. How can you know the difference between the ego voice, how's that going to work, and the voice that speaks to you from your intuition, your higher self, or that higher power? How do you differentiate the two?
I mean, if it's really coming as a voice, the voice that is empowering you is the intuitive voice. It would never criticize you, would never put you into doubt. It would never. It's pretty clear, straight, and it is really giving you a positive push, like a very And the ego mind is usually more in a judgmental, criticizing, doubting, fearing, in anxiety, maybe shaming, or all of this stuff. But in case of doubt, in case you're not really clear with it, because what I found along the way was actually that even people who were quite a long time on their spiritual journey, on this journey of self-transformation and self-development, had struggled with discerning what was their inner voice and what was the ego voice.
Right.
And what you can always rely on is your sense of feeling. Yeah. So when it's taking a
when the voice is talking, how do you feel?
Yeah, exactly. Also, how do you feel about taking that decision? Not how you. That's why not do how do you think about it? How do you feel about it? How do you feel about it? I take this choice. How do I feel? Feels okay. I take this choice. How do I feel? Oh, that feels great. I feel light. I feel good. Just gonna take that choice. Yeah.
I think when the ego voice is going, you're feeling this kind of contracting feeling, especially around the heart chakra. And when it's a voice from a higher source, you kind of, well, I don't know how that's going to work out, but I'm with you. You kind of in an expanding mode. This will be new. It's I've never done this before. I've never done it this way. Or leave here now. Okay. It's more expansive, I think. You feel more expansive.
Yeah, exactly. From the feeling, it's more expansive. you might still usually also these information that comes through, they excite us in some way.
Yeah.
And in another, we have a little bit of fear because it's out of our comfort zone. So usually fear and excitement are very close about it. But if you feel this great excitement coming up, yeah, when you think about the choice and your ego is like, no, don't do this, no. But you feel the excitement, you know, then the excitement is connected to this expansiveness you're talking about. Go there. The excitement gives you always a sign of go there, go there, go there. But it's not the excitement for the chocolate bar, yeah? Like this is something
No.
a bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, let's take a minute now. And what are your biggest key takeaways from today, Bodo?
So yeah, one big takeaway is really the encouragement for you to figure out how is your intuition communicating to you. It's also about which I didn't talk about now, but observing also, when do you have these insights? Yeah, that's another very important thing to know. Okay, I have these intuitive informations. They come, for example, usually up when you're relaxed. They're not coming in moments of high tension, but to actually create these moments, like take a walk in nature. For example, for me, I get amazingly intuitive insights when I'm in a forest or up in the mountains, or both, especially both. For you, it's maybe the ocean, no?
Well, meditation for me, just meditating and sometimes guided meditations. I went and put one together, My Intuition Guides Me, which people can find on the YouTube channel. It'll be in the description. And just relaxing with that and listening. I made it and I still listen to it myself to just kind of make that connection. Yeah, meditation for me. But I love and appreciate walks in nature too.
Or for example, maybe for you, it's going to the spa, yeah, going to the sauna, getting a massage. For me, it's also Qigong, for example. When I do Qigong, there comes the moment where my energy is really flowing, then boom, 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 the information just comes in from without asking anything. So yeah, figure that out for you also. Journaling can be super helpful. And then once you know that, go with that, create these situations where you can tap into this intuitive intelligence within you. And also move, big takeaway is move out of your mind into feeling. Feeling is one of the major key access points to intuition. Yeah. And then do your journal, keep track on when did you take an intuitive decision and what happened after that. And then later on, some weeks, some months, look back onto that story and you see, wow, magic happened. Oh, wow, magic happened. To reinforce, it's important to reinforce through the experience your trust into intuition, and that will amplify your courage. So each time you will have be more courageous and take maybe that massive step out of your comfort zone, because you know it just works. It's, you know, it's for your best. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So these would be the biggest key takeaways for me. And for you, Michael?
Well, in today's conversation, what I heard a lot from you was commitment, commitment, commitment. And I think that for me is a huge takeaway. There were a couple of examples of what little exercises a person can do. But I think realizing, looking back at your decisions that were made with the ego mind and how they turned out, yeah. And stepping out of our comfort zone into the unknown, but having a commitment to do that, I think is one of my key takeaways from today. It's a better, easier, less stressful way to live. You could intuitively move out of an area before disaster hits. It could be life-saving even. So I think those are my key takeaways. You have a smoother, easier life, but it takes commitment.
Yeah.
I think that's a nice couple of good comparisons there. Now, As we approach the end of today's talk, Bodo, I noticed this upcoming Saturday, the 12th of March, you'll be giving a workshop all about accessing and amplifying a person's intuition. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes, I love to. So yeah, the workshop is called Accessing Your Intuition, where you really learn tools. Like it's a collection of tools and meditations which are not only helping you to access your intuition, but if you follow through with these techniques, you actually will amplify your intuition over a short period of time, and actually you will learn how to first tap into it through your feeling, how to take decisions by intuition, yeah, and then also how to go beyond that, how to actually use that capacity of your intuitive channels of clear knowingness, clear audience, and so on, where you tap into the potentials that are available for you each moment. So for example, you can tap into the potentials of the day. So you can look at what are the, it's called a timeline. When you look down, when you take a decision now, a different timeline is opening up depending which decision you take, a different potential in time and space. You can look at this actually. You can look at this for the day. You can look at this for a specific decision. You can, and then you can actually activate that potential which you feel intuitively is best for you. And then this magic which I was talking about, where things just come to you in a way, is actually amplified, and your intuitive insights actually start to be way more amplified. So this is just some of the things I'm going to share in that workshop. So what you gain there is from my many years now of experience with intuition, a great set of tools which are working very profoundly in accelerating your intuitive power within you, so you can live a life more guided by your intuition, living a life more in flow, more in ease, taking the better decisions for you, growing in the best way for you, and really becoming more of that expanded true you, who lives his or her potential each day a bit more, each day a bit more, each day a bit more. And then really magic starts to unfold in your life, and you would do things and see things developing in your life which you would have never thought of. Yeah. So it's a 4-hour workshop. You can find the links down in the descriptions. Or just go straight to my Facebook page, Welcome to the Golden Age. Also a Eventbrite event online. Yeah, but you find the links down in the descriptions.
Super. Well, here at Energiebewegung, we've got a new website. Yay! And I would like to invite our viewers and listeners to check out the link in the description. There they can find out more about the Trust and Transform program we've just designed, put together, and to help people rapidly improve their lives. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Bodo, and your insights. And I look forward to seeing you in your upcoming workshop.
Thank you so much, Michael. Thanks for the opportunity. And I had a good time with you. Thank you so much for having me again.
You're very welcome. I look forward to the next time.
Aloha.
Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time, Bodo.